Welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and this morning we're visiting with Dr. Jordan Shockley. He's with the University of Kentucky in the Department of Agriculture Economics and Associate Extension Professor there. Now, Jordan, today we're going to talk about a huge portion of the farm budget and maybe one of the limiting factors for new farmers getting involved, especially in row crop production, and that's machinery.
Yes, absolutely. It's such a huge cost. I mean, can you believe that it's about 20% of the entire cost to grain crop production is just machinery?
And you have some tips for us to be thinking about to improve profitability, and especially with grain markets the way they are right now, we're looking for every opportunity to do that.
Absolutely. When you think about that 20%, actually in your region, it's about $175 an acre. Okay. And if you think about that, that largest portion is depreciation. When I talk about depreciation, there is a difference between tax depreciation that farmers are used to and economic depreciation. And so understanding those two differences is critical in how you calculate depreciation and understanding that because it is a large portion of that. So first is understanding your costs. So taking inventory and determining the economic depreciation of each piece of equipment if you're already an established farmer, right? Because managing that can be critical because you don't want to be over capacity, right? I think that's what a lot of our farmers get into is this every year think, okay, well, I got to limit my tax burden, so I got to buy new equipment, and equipment prices are rising, which drives up my economic depreciation and hence total cost. And so we want to avoid this kind of the death spiral when you talk about purchasing new equipment.
What's the difference between tax depreciation and economic depreciation?
So, for example, when you have a tax depreciation and to get that Section 179 tax credit, right, you take that entire depreciated value and have it all in 1 year, right, to do that. Well, if you actually applied that to your budget, you would be so far in the negative as far as profitability goes. That's not the right method to choose. And so you look at the economic depreciation, which is usually spread out across 10 years, and you take that in, or however long you plan on keeping that piece of equipment, new or used, and you calculate that. Basically, it's the purchase price, and then you subtract out what you're going to sell it for, and then spread it all across time. And so it's a different method than your traditional tax depreciation.
So it really gives you a more realistic cost of production scenario.
Exactly, because if you did, a lot of farmers do just say, "Oh, they'll take this tax depreciation." That is not the way to do it.
And, equipment is getting more expensive.
I mean, there is a trade-off, right? Keeping equipment longer, higher repair and maintenance costs, right? However, if you can do some of those repairs yourself, right, that's a lot of money can be spent because, farmers worry about downtime. That is a absolute worry, right? And so, especially on those key pieces of equipment. And so, if you've got a service provider that is reliable and close by, that can get to you when you have a breakdown, that may dictate what color paint you go with, right? Or one of the strategies now is buying older tractors, right? And equipping it with the new technology. And so you can handle the mechanic side of things and still kind of be on the cutting edge with some of these bolt-on precision ag technologies that were so creatures of comfort that we're used to in new tractors and new planters and stuff like that. There's a publication available on breaking down and calculating your economic depreciation and then benchmarking that across those in the state and in your region specifically.
Absolutely. And it's even for equipment that, you might not owe any money on that, but the equipment's still costing something to operate and maintain.
Absolutely. It is, you can be fully paid for, paid off. It still has a cost.
The moral of the story is we need to know what our cost is and for this year as well as projecting those out in the future.
Yes, because margins are going to be slim. Other high expenses like land rents, that's more tough. But you have the ability to manage your machinery costs.
Thanks for watching and have a great day.